Big thank you to today's sponsor, Proton VPN. Many of us feel like privacy is basically impossible these days, so you destroy your computer parts, you throw away all your stuff, you'll throw your computer case away, and you'll go live with the Amish. Since honestly that feels like the only way to escape the big tech overlords from seeing everything you're doing and constantly collecting data. Best part is, it's not even big tech, it's your literal internet service provider, providing warrantless surveillance access to the National Intelligence Agency. Just because you live in a certain part of the world, you can't watch one of your favorite shows. If you want to change this, then Proton VPN can help. Proton VPN has servers all over the world, so you can connect to any part of the world to circumvent these restrictions, watch what you want, and when you use a VPN, your ISP can't see what you're doing. So anyone trying to look in can't see what you're up to. If you're interested, the link in the description will provide you a 64% off deal, which is a special deal provided to the entire Totally Not KO community. Thank you again to Proton for sponsoring today's video. So I was on Twitter and I was doing my usual scrolling of shitposts and memes when I came across this. A user posted talking about Win11 debloat, which is a really cool script to debloat Windows. And this guy, Raphael, quote tweeted it and said, "Don't ever run scripts that claim to debloat Windows. Always a bad idea." So I want to have an honest conversation. Should you debloat Windows? Now, I think it's important to understand context here. So I run a group called Raven, and we have our own debloating tool called Talon. So I'm sure you can obviously tell that I'm actually for debloating. I mean, I have my own tool for it. It's supposed to design to make it's designed to make debloating really quick and easy. It's just 2 clicks. And I even responded to his post with this, so I'm sure you can imagine my take here. Now, there's also contacts with Raphael. So he is a self-proclaimed Windows Dev MVP, which is a title granted by the Microsoft community leaders, recognizing him as a big contributor to their dev community and very helpful. So he is literally recognized by Microsoft as being a big part of their dev community and all of that. Like, he's literally recognized by Microsoft. So he seems to be pretty for Windows and Microsoft, if you get what I'm saying. So him saying something like this doesn't surprise me too much. But rather than doing personal attacks or anything like that, because I think that is just totally stupid, let's focus on the hard facts. Now, since I am a big believer in privacy and security, let's start with privacy here. Let's start with Windows telemetry. I'm going to play you a portion of this video by the PC security channel called Windows Spying When You Game.
Now recently, just out of curiosity, I opened Wireshark to look at the network traffic while I was loading up Counter-Strike, a game by Valve that I run from Steam. And the telemetry results shocked me. So, but now if we look down, there's copilot.microsoft.com, which turns out to be something related to the Edge newsfeed service. Why would that? So they're going on and on and on. So we have a few connections here from NVIDIA, games.xboxab.com. And this is a very, very long list, as you can see, .microsoft.com.
And he even clarifies in the video that he's not even playing this through Xbox Live or Xbox services, but you can see it's making connections to Xbox and Xbox Live. You can see Edge, a bunch of connections to Edge services are running in the background. You can see MicrosoftIdentity.com. Come on, really? You can keep going on, and he's using this tool called Wireshark to capture all this network traffic, and he's seeing all of this. And obviously, if you try to look at what it's sending, it's all encrypted and you can't read it. So they're just sending all this encrypted traffic. You can even see Fastly, Google services running in the background. I mean, this is crazy. So obviously, Windows is sending a lot of telemetry, even while this dude is just playing a simple video game on his regular Windows system. He clarifies in the video it's just a regular generic Windows install. Okay, now what you're looking at right here is a fresh, brand new installation of Windows 11. Totally untouched completely. It's a little bit out of date slightly. I need to update it, but other than that, it's totally fresh. You can see I click here, install WhatsApp. Okay, well, yes, I have a zip file that I downloaded, but I haven't even unzipped it. And you can see scrolling, you can see how fast everything. Let's try to search something up. Let's search up settings. You can see that. Now let's search up file explorer. Let's search up, I don't know, let's search up resource monitor. You can see all this, like, and it's trying to make all these searches on the web. You can see there's these integrated widgets. I mean, just look at how much stuff is being shoved in my face, and I bet most of you guys don't even use this stuff. So let's talk about quick assist, news, Microsoft To Do, Clipchamp, Game Bar, which I know not many people use, Feedback Hub, which nobody's using that, Copilot, which maybe, you know, some people unfortunately are using that, and just like, come on, really? Pre-installed OneDrive, all of this, and these searches just feel slow and clunky. Like, it just feels bad. If I search, like everything just feels bad. Some people may be cool with it, but I don't like getting recommended all this crappy software. I don't like having ads built into my system. They even push notification ads on Windows now, if you didn't even know that. And they continue to integrate AI that does nothing but collect data and spy on you. I mean, do you guys remember Recall? They're still trying to implement Recall. Now, because debloating does things like change system settings, it makes changes to your system, it runs scripts, it does all of that. Of course, it would trip up any Windows Defender. Of course, natural. I mean, Defender and other antiviruses don't have context. So when they see a program running scripts and downloading stuff and making system changes, that looks malicious. But obviously, in the context of a debloater, it's not. But, you know, obviously they're going to falsely flag that as malicious, which is fine. I mean, it's trying to do its job. That's fine. But if you're going to use Talon, which is what I'm about to showcase you here, you need to go to Virus and Threat Protection. You need to go to Manage Settings, then go to Add or Remove Exclusions. Click Yes, Add Exclusion Folder, and then you just need to exclude your C drive like that. Now you'll see that C is right here. Make sure you remove this exclusion after running Talon for security's sake. And specifically with Talon, the reason why it trips up Windows Defender 2 is just because of the way the exe file is designed. Like, I actually, in the last video about Talon I made, I talked about that specifically, and I even draw it out on a little diagram showcasing it all, and I explain it in more detail. So if you're interested in that, go look at it if you want the technicals. Now, I'm going to run Talon here and show you how easy it is to debloat Windows nowadays, and I'll show you the aftermath. So let's go ahead and double click Talon here. Now here we are, we're at Talon. This is Talon right here. I'm going to go ahead and close Task Manager. This is Talon, and so I'm going to select Brave as the browser that I want. You want to consider donating? Yeah, okay, I'll consider it. You don't have to. We don't care. I mean, just if you like it and you have some money you want to throw your way, it's fine. You can. Now, and here we go. Installing Talon, executing debloat scripts. It's doing it all for you. You can just lay back, relax, sip your drink, and just watch it do its thing. Now, you're not, we say don't use your keyboard and mouse, obviously, because we don't want you messing with the windows in the background and stuff, which can obviously fuck with the process. But you just sit here and relax and just watch it work for you, and it will just clean up your system. So you know how Edge was running in the background for the PC security channel in his video? You saw how it was making connections to Edge? That's because Edge actually runs in the background. So Edge, even when it's not open, is running in the background. And they are preloading pages and connecting to websites. They are loading websites for you in the background that they think you're going to want to visit. And this is to make, you know, this is to make Edge faster, they say, but they're connecting to their services and their news feeds and collecting telemetry and all that in the background, connecting to these websites as if you were typing them in without you even having the browser open, without you even realizing, which is really messed up. And I actually believe Chrome does this too, which is just screwed up. And you can see Edge is gutted out of the system right now. If I go ahead and look, Edge is nowhere to be found right now. And it's currently installing Brave as an alternative browser, which is actually privacy respecting. And as you'll see after it debloats, after it installs Brave, it will get rid of all of these all this pre-installed junk and keep the actual necessary ones. Now, this is Mudahar from SomeOrdinaryGamers. I'd say he's a pretty prominent YouTuber as far as the tech space goes. He talks a lot about cybersecurity, operating systems like Windows, Linux, stuff like that. And he's just generally a very watched YouTuber in the tech scene, at least I believe, as he does have 3.86 million subscribers and he gets very high amounts of views. And even he showcased running Talon start to finish, and he showcased how it was debloated and how it was much smoother and clean. And he's titled the video, "Please do this right now." He is literally saying, like, debloating Windows is basically a necessity if you are going to use Windows. And he talks about Bazite Linux and other Linux systems if you want to go to Linux, but if you really want to stick with Windows, what you know and love already, but you just don't want to have all the Microsoft crap, you could absolutely use Talon. Look at those just fly by. I mean, just look at this. It's removing the Xbox app. You can see it's removing Teams. It's just running down the whole list. Copilot's gone, weather, all this crap. I can even show you. Look at the apps disappear as it goes on. You'll see just apps start disappearing and disappearing. It's removing the gaming app, the gaming overlay. Bing search is gone. Oh. Look at it go. It's updating Windows update policies, which I will explain in just a moment here. And it's setting your desktop background and restarting. Here's the end result. So as you can see, all of this stuff is gone. Look at how blank this start menu is here. And you can just see everything. Now it keeps the Microsoft Store because that's genuinely useful. It keeps Calculator Camera because that's genuinely useful. Notepad because that's useful. Paint and Photos because that's genuinely actually useful software. And if there is some of that stuff for your specific use case that you do want, you can just get it back from the Microsoft Store. I mean, if I just open this up, you can easily just search and find whatever you want and bring it back. So, like, even the Xbox app, I could search it in there. Now, watch when I search compared to last time. I feel like this is much faster. Like, it used to take, like, 1 or 2 seconds just to load, and it was blank. And now it's basically damn near immediate. Like, look at that. Watch, Brave, right there. Windows, security, right there. Okay, firewall, right there. You can, I mean, like, it's just so much snappier. I mean, you can feel it just being much more efficient. Now that, of course, is just the jank you get from File Explorer these days. But, like, you can see it's just, it feels so much nicer compared to regular Windows, which just feels so slow and clunky. It is just much nicer. And that's the whole point of Talon, is to visually debloat Windows by getting rid of all the visual clutter, all of the eye candy that they're trying to force onto you. It gets rid of all the crap running in the background, minimizes it all so that your system feels fast and responsive and snappy and just go get it. And I mean, let me add again, like, this is a virtual machine here. So obviously it's going to run even better than this on an actual physical system. Like, look at this. Steam, right there. Watch. If I wanted to do SWAT, right there you go. LibreWolf, right there. LibreOffice, I guess. I mean, the Get Started app, Firewall. You can talk, like Resource Monitor. Like, look at how fast it's going. It's so much cleaner. It's so much faster. Now listen, I'm a cybersecurity guy. I'm not ignorant to cybersecurity. I understand that debloating tools, especially like Talon, do have to rely on certain third-party scripts and services sometimes, and, you know, obviously they aren't official tools, so there is a risk. Every single piece of software you use comes with a level of trust. Like, even with Talon, there's trust because obviously we have the scripts that it all uses, which is, you can just go look at it, by the way, it's all right here. You can see everything it relies on, and it even relies on other projects. So, like, CTT WinUtil is one of the projects that Talon relies on in the background, and it uses as a big portion of its debloating process. Now, this is its own debloating tool, but Talon is kind of like a macro, honestly, where it just does it all automatically for you, because this tool, you have to check a bunch of boxes, click run tweak, you have to manually tweak it all, when with Talon you just 2 clicks, done, and it just does it all for you. That's the whole idea of Talon. So obviously there's a supply chain risk. If Chris Titus Tech's tool gets hacked and gets put with some malicious code, then obviously Talon would be affected. The Win11 debloat tool, which was from the original tweet that was made by that guy that he was quote tweeting, if this gets hacked too, then obviously Talon is vulnerable. But these are very popular projects, actively watched and seen and maintained by many people. Same with this project. You can see the amount of activity going on here. Like, this is nuts. This is a massive project. You may be talking about Talon itself, which is understandable. Talon is not the largest project out there. 1.4k stars is a lot, but obviously this isn't the biggest project ever. So if there were any kind of like bad pull requests made or whatever, and any vulnerable code got in, then there's a problem. Of course. That's with any software you download, though. That is with literally any program. Microsoft SharePoint exploit. A gigantic, huge exploit just happened with Microsoft's SharePoint software, which is used by big companies. Microsoft is a massive company, one of the biggest in the United States as far as the tech, sector goes. And of course, they had a 0-day exploit that even had the governmental agency responsible for curing our nukes literally got affected by this. Thankfully, obviously they didn't get affected that bad by this hack, but they still were affected nonetheless. This just points out that any software, if it has code, it can be exploited. That is just a simple that is just the simplest way to look at it. So obviously we will try our hardest to make sure that nothing bad gets put in Talon. We will absolutely try. We take the necessary precautions to ensure security with Talon. Obviously, throughout the whole development cycle, we're always keeping security in mind because we're a security focused organization. However, it is always possible, but that's just with any software. That's the whole point I'm making here, is it isn't specific to just debloaters. Now, an argument you could make is with something like ReviOS. Now, I'm not trying to throw ReviOS under the bus here, but ReviOS is another debloater that uses more extreme measures of debloating. You see, Talon's methods of debloating is actually pretty high level, where it doesn't dig too deep into the weeds of the Windows operating system. A lot of Talon's changes that it does is simply registry tweaks and uninstalling stuff and changing system settings. However, ReviOS, as far as I'm aware, will literally patch binaries and literally change code of Windows binaries and will do some pretty extreme stuff. Now, certain extremely deep changes like that, of course, can cause stability concerns, stability problems. That's just objective, like even Atlas OS, I believe Atlas OS makes some tweaks that can affect stability. Now, I'm not even saying that Talon is immune to changes that affect stability, but Talon is designed with that in mind, and it tries to avoid making changes that harm stability. Now, you see, the thing is that debloating Windows does always come with a risk because you are modifying your system. If Microsoft pushes some massive change that's going to significantly change Windows, then if you debloated your system, maybe it causes some kind of incompatibility, and there you go, you have a problem. But Talon does make a change using our custom in-house made script. It's using the Windows registry to set these certain policies, and what this does is it makes it so your Windows system only receives security updates forever. At least on Windows Pro systems. On Windows Home, it only lasts 365 days. But these scripts make it so that you only receive security updates, not feature bloat updates that would install extra dumb crap, change a bunch of features, all that. You would only get actual crucial updates while leaving your system generally the same, generally fine. To end this whole thing off, I believe that debloating is a good option for improving your privacy, improving your security, and it is generally just a much better option if you don't want to have all that extra crap running in the background, because the longevity of it is much greater. And I wholeheartedly disagree with this guy's take. So, should you debloat Windows? Well, that's the thing. I provided you my perspective. But as I said in the video in the very beginning, and as any honest individual will tell you, that I'm biased. And any other honest person in this conversation would tell you they're biased too. And I tried to point that out with, mentioning this and mentioning Talon for myself here, is that everyone is biased in this conversation. The best thing you can do is hear my take, hear his take, try it for yourself, and come to your own conclusion. That's the best thing you can do. So, honestly, and I'm sorry for those of you who wanted some kind of direct yes or no, but that would be dishonest. And in this kind of conversation, it's important to be honest with people. That's the important part of cybersecurity, is that we need to be honest with the end user. And that's what I'm going to continue to try to do, and clear up any what I believe is misinformation. So that's about it. Oh, and of course, I don't feel like I need to say this entirely because my community is very nice, but obviously don't send any hate to this individual. I'm just trying to have an open and honest discussion about debloating here. Don't send any hate his way. Differing opinions, it is what it is. This is an open, honest discussion. Just don't go hate brigading. It's stupid. But anyways, that's about it. See ya.